like forever. I know. Or I mean, the analyst forever.
All right, welcome in. It is the PrizePicks NFL Week 1 edition. We're going to get you all caught up and well-versed about everything, not only how to use the benefits of PrizePicks at PrizePicks.com, our promo code Awesemo, but also to make you some money on here. That's the key, is to not only integrate all of the great tools on PrizePicks.com, but how to use them. And that, of course, is EMac's job here. I'm here to help as well, but I'm just here to watch EMac squirm in the analysis chair, in the analyst chair, as he is as well seasoned of a host on this channel, on this network, as you'll find. What's happening? First and foremost, you've been away for a little bit, so great to have you back, and let's just dive right into everything that we could possibly do with PrizePicks.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a lot of fun here. It's as Eytan mentioned, this is going to be my first run in the analyst show or analyst chair in a bit, and then my first NFL show of the season. But that's okay. PrizePicks makes everything easy for us. The biggest concept that we want to remember is essentially it's like a parlay card. And they have a different twist on it. Now they have the regular stat questions that they'll ask, or that are available for you to choose. Receptions per game, yardage. For NBA, they have points, rebounds, assists. They have combinations of those. They have all sorts of stuff there. The other fun thing they do is they have a lot of fantasy sport or fantasy point questions in these as well, and they utilize FanDuel scoring, so it's half PPR, 4 points for passing touchdowns, 6 for any other touchdowns, and it's an easy way to just go in and have some fun. Now you get a lot of flexibility here, so at first it's going to seem a little bit daunting, but basically you pick 1 through 5 questions, you make your own little parlay card, you can do cross sport bets, which is fantastic. So it doesn't just have to be NFL. You can branch out in NFL and anything else that's up there. Right now, they've got first half NFL. They've got NFL futures. They've got MLB. They've got tennis, NASCAR, soccer, WNBA's out there. I know they had Highlight. I haven't seen Highlight since, they used to show clips of that on the original Miami Vice, not the Jamie Foxx Colin Farrell movie version, but the actual show from way back in the day. They have all sorts of sports floating around out there, disc golf, stuff that we're not going to know about. But there's plenty that we are going to know about. And Jordan will keep this up on the channel for us. And we'll just talk through how we make a couple different things here. But as Eytan will tell you, it's a lot of fun because you're into the full-on gambling. You're like a total degen. I'm just like a partial degen, more DFS, but they made gambling legal in Virginia just before the Super Bowl last year. So I've been having a little fun with this. It's good. I don't pretend to throw a lot out there. My units probably aren't the same scale as everybody else's, but I'm having some fun.
Look, you hang around Ben Rossa long enough, you'll become a degenerate just by proxy. So give it time, my friend. Here's the beauty of it, though, is we have a promo code for you right away, and we'll continue to tell you about this throughout the show here. Just use it. It's free money. Use our promo code Awesemo on PrizePicks.com. We'll match your deposit up to $100. That's a lot of damage you can do right away. And as EMac said, the beauty of PrizePicks is that you're not really stuck in one sport, where you can branch out. If you know soccer as well as you know the NFL, or League of Legends as well as college football, that you match it all in together and you're good to go here. So let's look at everything possible. And as EMac mentioned, Jordan is in the house producing, so make sure you say hi to him in the chat. Let's look at 2 cool things that PrizePicks has right away, EMac, and we can start with Patty Mahomes, because there is an amazing special. I'm looking at it right here. You have 26 hours, 5 minutes, technically 4 minutes, 55 seconds and counting to get 95% off on Patrick Mahomes, who has been reduced from 10 as far as passing yards is concerned, all the way to a half, from a half a passing yard. So you talk about an easy win right there. You can just start with this awesome promo that PrizePicks is working with Patrick Mahomes.
Right. So what they've done, what PrizePicks has always done, is giving you the opportunity. You pick 2, 3, 4, 5 of these questions. They've allowed us to have a gimme here. They're giving us Patrick Mahomes of having half a passing yard or more. Now you can put him in with any of your other questions, and you get a better multiplier. The other thing that they've done with their multipliers is you don't have to be perfect. So previously, if I said I have a 3-question card here, I needed to get all 3 right. They now give you an out. If you get 2 out of those 3 right, you still get a payout. And with the Patrick Mahomes, basically, we just need to get 1 out of 2 right, and we're going to get a 1.25x on most of our questions. Now, some of the questions going cross-border or different things will give you a slightly different multiplier depending on how you create your card. The Pat Mahomes, I think, isn't giving us the full access to a full 15x like they do on some of theirs, but we can still get up to, I've played around with a bunch of them. I've gotten up to 8.5 and to 10x when choosing 5 different ones, but they do say 15x is now available. So they've increased the high end, but they've also given us a little bit of a cushion on the out. Now, to show you, it's not all going to be, they're not all freebies, but if you were to do a 5 card, you have to get 3 correct. So again, Patrick Mahomes and 2 of our other 4, we get 0.4 back. So it's a cushion. You don't lose everything. You're like, if you bet $10 on it and you only get 2 correct plus the Pat Mahomes, you'll get $4 back. So you're only going to lose 6. So they've cushioned the landing for us, which that's nice the first week. Get us in there. Let us try it out. But we'll give you some options here of some of the things we'd look at for our picks.
Now, we're going to talk specifically about my guy here in Philadelphia for a different reason. But just to your point here, I've loaded up on PrizePicks, just all here on passing yards. Mahomes over the half passing yard, which is a lock. We know EMac. Jalen Hurts over 239.5. Big Ben over 267.5. And Kirk Cousins over 250. I'm a big fan of the over passing yards, as you can see here. But all 4 of those, 3 out of 4, as you mentioned, pays 1.5. So think about the payout with just hitting 3 of 4. You already have 1 locked in, which is Mahomes. So you really just need to hit 2 of 3, and then all 4 will pay out 5 times. And then the power play, of course, is like the big one, right? Where if you want to match them all up and you're super confident this is the betting version of a parlay, that all 4 hit, I can get 10 times back. So a $20 entry for these technically 4, but really 3, is going to pay me $200 back on PrizePicks. That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's not quite as aggressive as some of the other books. They do have some lines here that are sharp and accurate with regards to the statistics and also with the fantasy points. We've seen that pitchers are pretty accurate to the Awesemo projections. And I've gone through probably 150 of these between yardage, catches, over-unders, touchdowns, and then corresponding fantasy points. I found a few that have stuck out, but there's quite a few that are just sort of stay away. But they give you tons of options where you can find things. The other thing that's important on these is, again, with a lot of their cross-sport stuff, they post their college football on Wednesday and Thursday. You can get Matt Gajeski doing some of those videos early. They won't keep these lines up. If something's off, there's injury news or whatever, they're going to move it or change it. Or so it's not static. It's actually dynamic, but there are inefficiencies here. So we'll point out a couple inefficiencies for you this afternoon.
So what you're telling me is I should basically every Wednesday be downloading Betting You with Matt and Rasa, and then coming to PrizePicks when everything is up for college football, running through based on what we hear from 2 of our sharpest minds in the sport, and then making some money, all on PrizePicks.com.
Absolutely. And I think there is also one other standalone video that Matt does for college football. Right. And then Greg and Eric Lindquist are doing some of these each day. Again, they're doing them in the morning. Those lines do change. They do move. So you want to jump on them when those things come out. Those are free. You can get them on the Awesemo YouTube channel. You can get them see them on Awesemo Twitter, etc. But those are the key
34 things. And counting popping in here. So make sure that as soon as you walk into this room and see what we're doing here, if you're not following EMac, my goodness, at EMac DFS at Shander Show for me, but smash that thumbs up. Want to make sure that you are liking and subscribing to everything that we're doing here on channel. And again, take advantage of that promo code Awesemo at PrizePicks.com. $100 match up to your first deposit right there is insane. So real quick, before we start looking at your individual picks that you really like, the other, and this is a new feature that PrizePicks on the app has updated, and that's the same game element. So if you love Patrick Mahomes going over that half yard on the passing yardage, you can now same game this with Kelsey, with Hill, all in the same game and combine it where we couldn't do that in the past.
And that also means primetime games. When there's an island game or Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football, PrizePicks is right in the mix here with same game action.
All right, let's look at what's the one that stood out to you the most, your biggest play? Let's start with the quarterbacks. If it's passing yards, touchdowns, the one that you really like from a quarterback standpoint?
Passing touchdowns, which I was a little bit surprised. You know this guy, Jalen Hurts. 1.0 is the current prize pick number. The Awesemo projections, yes, projections. Not only do we have fantasy points, we actually give you out what we've got the underlying metrics to be for yards, completions, targets, catches, rushes, rushing yards, all that stuff. So the Awesemo actual raw projection is 1.38 touchdowns. So that means, doing a little bit of math, it's not quite going to correspond exactly at 38% that we think it's going to be over that, but it's pretty close to that. So that was the best one I found there. So the Jalen Hurts one was sort of interesting. I looked at him. I did see those passing ones. So that is a good one to push on you. I think, what did you say? It was 269. We did see let's exclude the Nate Sudfeld experiment, week 17. Please. Don't know what happened. If we look at those other 3 games, 2 of those, he had 330 or more passing yards. In those games, you want to look at the rushing, he averaged just shy of 80 rushing yards in those 3 games. He's going against Atlanta. Atlanta has one of the worst defenses out there. By focusing on the over there for the passing yards, I was on the fence on that one, but I can see now we don't have to guess which receiver it's going to go to. You're playing this, you're hedging this with all of them. How confident do you feel on that passing yardage over? As an Eagles fan, I love just poking you and Lofty, because the self-loathing, the confidence at times, the Philly special recollection, now the Nate Sudfeld. There's a lot of Philly moments.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And to your point though, here's the thing, and I'll give Jalen Hurts credit. He played through a pile of shit last year with all the surroundings. That offense wasn't even stopped, EMac. It was in reverse. So for him to put up numbers like that, really just not turn the ball over as much as Carson Wentz. Nick Sirianni is going to open it up against Atlanta. They probably will be in a shootout early in that first half, I would say, by the time you hit the second quarter. So I love the passing yards. I love going over the 1 touchdown as well, especially because you're not dealing with a hook here at 1.5. You're going to get that 1, if not probably 2 touchdowns. Here's one that I'm going to throw in there. And look, you can bang these up now on the same game, which is best about it. I'm going to give you over 23.5 first half rushing yards for Hurts, because I think he gets out of the pocket. That's one of their strengths, is him on the move. He can break one. You mentioned the Falcons defense is not great at slowing anybody down with the football. That's something to think about as well. Now, that's a sneaky one. I just pulled it out of my back pocket, but and Jordan on the money right there is keeping up with it. But just something to keep in mind in the back of your head there, EMac.
All right. And you love your first quarter, first half bets. I learned this from watching you on your NBA playoff shows.
Yes.
So now that we're in football first half, which, by the way, this is something new that PrizePicks has done this year. So that's kind of a fun one as well. But, we could see 23.5. Does that seem like it's going to be a tough one? 1 broken play, 1 designed run.
And there will be. That's the thing too, is knowing the strategy, the game script that at least the team goes into with it. They're going to move him around a lot. So I would definitely look at that. And hey, anytime you got me talking about my team, we'll go down tangents at all. So I don't want to go too far down that. Let's move to the running back position. Okay. If there is a player or 2 that jump out for you here as far as on PrizePicks.
Absolutely. So we're going to go with Dalvin Cook here. So We're not going with the rushing yards. We're going with the receptions, actually. Ooh. So he's sitting at 2.5. Awesemo has him projected for 3.31 receptions. There's no Irv Smith. There's no Olabisi Johnson. There's no Chad Beebe. So we are looking at, obviously, Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson are going to be options 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But the wide receiver 3 is going to be a combination of KJ Osborne and Dede Westbrook. Anybody listen to me? About half the people right now are going, wait, Dede Westbrook, isn't he a Jaguar? No, he's not. He's now with the Vikings. And KJ Osborne, he must be good. He must be their draft pick, right? No, he was a special teamer last year. He saw action in 9 games. He and Eytan and I have combined for 0 targets in the NFL. He was their kick returner.
Take full advantage of that. Cook over 2.5 receptions. That's a smart play.
And here's the other numbers. In 10 games last year, when he had more than 40 snaps, he never had less than 2 receptions, and he had more than 2 in 5. In those 10 games, he had 54 total targets. In 2019, he had 9 games with at least 40 snaps. He had 1 reception in 1, 2 receptions in 1, and then the other 7, he had 3 or more. He averaged 4.3 targets. So I feel like that 2.5 is one we can get over on here.
Absolutely. I'm just adding this, by the way, to the tally that we already have with Mahomes, your Hurts play, my Hurts play, now Dalvin Cook over 2.5 receptions. Anyone else on that position before we look at a wide out or two?
No, I've got 2 wide receivers, but we're looking at receptions once again on this one, and then I've got a receiving yards. So we don't always take the overs. We want to take the overs. It feels good. That's what we want to root for. But here's a case where those can be a little fragile. Maybe somebody gets a tight hamstring. They don't eat the proper pregame breakfast. Who knows what's going on? But there are many ways that people can go under. So we're going to look at DeAndre Hopkins. This does not mean DeAndre Hopkins is a bad play, but he is looking at 7.5 receptions right now. Now, Awesemo is projecting him for 6.98. So that feels like close, like, ooh, do we really want to go with that? Well, let's think about this, though. What are some other things we can look at here? That's a median projection. Last year in 16 games, this is with Dan Arnold and Larry Fitzgerald. Those guys are now gone. But we've brought in A.J. Green, we've brought in Rondale Moore, the talented rookie, and we've got a more experienced Christian Kirk. So last year in his 16 games, he had 8 where he was below this number, and he had 8 where he was above this number. So my thoughts on this is we're bringing in a few better players, a lot of things that can happen for him to not get to 8 receptions. I kind of like going with the under here. Heresy, probably, but there's a lot of ways that he could have seven catches, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. And we're thinking that's great, but that's not the 8 that we need to lose that one. So we would still win on something like that.
No, I love this, EMac. I'm sorry to jump in. I love this. And I think the hook here plays such a key element because you're right. DeAndre Hopkins needs 5 to 7 grabs to dominate a football game. And if that's the case, Arizona is up against Tennessee. Like, it may shift the game script, or it may just be a matter of the Titans putting everything possible they can to slow Hopkins down, and other people are open. I mean, Kyler Murray's not going to sit back and throw to triple coverage every single time to DeAndre Hopkins. I love this, especially because it's reinforced with what we have on site at Awesemo are great tools that you should be able to take advantage of if you're subscribed $29.99 a week for Awesemo Plus. But really, that's fantastic analysis right there. You have come fully researched here for this program. See, I'm used to working with Lindquist or somebody else where it's just, winging it.
Yeah, but those guys are Lindquist and Aaron Burke. Those guys are amazing. They come in, cold read everything, are figuring out, oh, this means this, and not only going to get that guy out of my lineup, now I'm going to go do futures wagers on somebody else in the postseason hardware category. It's like, yeah, those guys they're very, very good at it. I stay in my lane. But what I do, I try to do very well. Yeah.
You're doing it fine, brother. As long as you're succeeding, making your money, other people money, then that lane can be as wide as narrow as be. All right, one more time, Awesemo is our promo code. You want to make sure you're using this. Look, we're giving you a great ticket right here, including that Patrick Mahomes special, which is not going to last forever, at over a half yard there. We're assuming that he's going to hit over a half yard. Let's look at the wide receiver position, EMac, as we wind down here on PrizePicks.com.
Yep, last one I have is Calvin Ridley. 87.5 yards. Awesemo is projecting him for 100.1 yards. He is there is no Julio Jones. This game is shaping up to be a track meet, as we sort of mentioned when we talked a lot about Hurts in this one. But with nobody else there, new running backs, we got to see best ball Twitter love and hate at the same time Mike Davis for being too old and not having enough carries throughout his career, and he's an enigma, I guess. But we know Calvin Ridley. We know he's a key person that's going to move the chains. You have it's Justin Gage, right? Yeah, Justin Gage is still there. I was thinking Russell. Michael. Oh, there's a Justin Gage, and I almost had Michael Cage was in there too. Rebounder, amazing hair. Justin Gage is baseball, I think.
Yeah, we haven't heard Justin Gage's name in a while. There, no, he played in the NFL.
Did he?
Remember, was it Jacksonville?
Yes, 31 years of fantasy sports for me right now, by the way. So I got a lot of names running around in my
Russell
head.
Gage.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got Ridley here, who, he's got Gage. We don't know what's really going to go on with Kyle Pitts. Is he going to get a lot of yardage? What's he going to do? He's a rookie. Yeah, he's phenomenally talented. But what's going to happen here in this game is I think we're going to see Matty Ice go to what he knows, and what he knows is Calvin Ridley, who's a phenomenal player, easily a top 10 receiver in this league, has a decent chance at being a top 5, if not number 1 fantasy receiver, depending on the scoring format if he stays healthy. So I think him going for 80, 90 yards is almost a bunny at this one. I will be disappointed if he does not get to 100.
Give it time, because I think that I love
this one's going to move up, I think, as other people jump on this one.
Great call. And I think, as you see here, Jordan has put that ticket in there. Just give it time, because I think this is a full game play. This is one where Calvin Ridley's not going to open the game up with 3 bombs and that's going to go over right away. There's going to be a lot of focus on Calvin Ridley early on, but the Eagles are so top heavy at like 2 positions in their secondary and really their defense that Pitts and Gage are going to open up a little bit. And then it's going to, that paradigm kind of shifts. And all of a sudden you see Ridley single coverage, nobody up top, bang, that's a 60-yard play to put him over. So fantastic. I love it, man. And we just put all 5 together for a pretty ridiculous payout. And as EMac mentioned from the jump, even 3 of 5, you're going to get some return back. 4 of 5, you're going to get 1.5. And then you hit all 5, you better just send a check to EMac.
Yeah, and I see somebody in chat asking how is this possible? I'm not. You guys had a different number for Jalen Hurts. He's now at 50
I responded. Yeah, to
okay.
Andrew. His number was full game. Mine was first half.
First half. Okay. Yep. But I was going to say, okay, that'd be a big jump, but these numbers will move. I want everybody to understand that is all of a sudden you guys are watching this and they're starting to get some come in on this side. They may, it would not surprise me if we see like 92.5 yards for Ridley by the time Sunday rolls around. So Jordan, just know that. Just know that.
Jordan can't help himself. He always has to slide one in there at the end. He likes Nick Cage. On the Mount Rushmore of cages, it probably would be Nick on there as well. All right, EMac, it's been a blast, brother. We only had about 25 minutes, the first time we've ever hosted a show. Maybe that was, on purpose. But again, at EMac DFS, at Shander Show for me. Thank Jordan and thank us by only just hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. We do not ask much. And take advantage of that promo code. What are you doing? EMac telling you that this stuff's not going to be around for a while. Take advantage of that promo code, Awesemo, for a deposit match up to $100. Have a great weekend and good luck.